The rest of the story. Moments before the target appeared in the mission leader's bomb sight, his blood ran cold. There could be no room for error without risking unbelievable disaster. The target itself was a circle less than 60 feet in diameter, less than 60 feet, mind you, struck precisely from a height of 3,500 feet. The 14 Israeli pilots had rehearsed the mission painstakingly, but now it was the real thing, and they must not fail. And this is the rest of the story. The Israeli Air Force called it Operation Babylon. 8 bomb-bearing F-16 fighters, attended by 6 heavily armed F-15 escorts, soared deep into Iraqi airspace on what, if successful, would be the longest mission in IAF history, and in many ways the most dangerous. Pilots were carefully taught what to do if shot down and captured. Don't try to be some special hero in the face of torture. And then they'd been given other details by the Army Chief of Staff, and yet in volunteering for Operation Babylon, these 14 pilots were all special heroes. Preparations were conducted in utmost secrecy. Even during the mission itself, there'd be strict radio silence. The pilots would communicate among themselves only through visually identifiable hand signals. Because of the length of the mission, fuel was a problem. There'd be just enough to reach their objective in Iraq and return home, nothing left for extraneous defensive maneuvers. The journey back would be in darkness. That stood in the Israelis' favor. And that was about all that favored them. At last, the F-16s began closing in on the target. Altimeters unwound like clocks with blown mainsprings. 3,900 feet, then 37. 200 feet more, and the lead plane would release 2 Mk-84s. 2,000 explosive pounds each. One of each of 2 explosives. The bomb site's death dot did find its mark. The bombs were jettisoned. The afterburner kicked in. The pilot climbed out hard to the left. He watched as his 2 bombs made a direct hit. And then he braced himself for the Iraqi MiGs to come after him. But not one did, because the Sunday afternoon strike had been an absolute total surprise. The F-16s dropped 16 bombs on that same target within minutes, and all of them fell within 40 feet of one another. You ask any airman the significance of that precision, and the pilots headed for home. Operation Babylon was an utter success. And not one Israeli was killed, and not one Iraqi was killed. For the target of that one-of-a-kind Israeli air attack was no city, it was no military base. It was a scientific installation wherein the Iraqis were preparing to manufacture nuclear weapons. Israel had bombed Iraq back to the Stone Age almost literally, for the target, which Israeli pilots specifically destroyed, was an Iraqi nuclear reactor. 16 bombs within 40 feet of the geometric center of a nuclear dome, but no fallout, no Holocaust. You have dreaded what might happen should one of those plants ever get jostled a little by an earthquake or something. Well, now you know the rest of the story.